I'm sure that by now you've heard about the new Ubisoft Star Wars game, the open world game being developed by Ubisoft studio Massive Entertainment. Recently, there have been so many leaks about this game, bits of information, tiny little tidbits, people tweeting stuff out, all about this game. So today I'm going to go through every single thing we know about this, everything I've talked about on my Clips channel, and present to you everything you need to know about the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game that's coming out soon. Not sure when, soon. Also, I'd love to know what you think this game is going to be about, where it's going to be set, who's going to be involved. Let me know in the comments down there. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Please subscribe so that when this game comes out, I can make more and more videos about it and buy it on every single platform possible. I'll review it everywhere. Nah, I'm not doing Xbox. Sorry, Xbox users. So in January 2021, it all started with Lucasfilm Games, who are a newly formed part of Lucasfilm. They're the games part of Lucasfilm. LucasArts aren't a thing anymore. They're going with Lucasfilm Games nowadays. And this is kind of after EA have lost the exclusivity of the license. EA aren't the only ones who can make Star Wars games anymore. Anyone can, anyone that Lucasfilm sees fit. So they created Lucasfilm Games. We're thrilled to announce we are working with Ubisoft and Massive to develop a brand new story-driven open world Star Wars adventure. This marked the start of a new direction for Lucasfilm Games, them wanting to take things beyond what EA were doing with the license and create lots of different games beyond Battlefront 2. This was also around the time Battlefront 2 was cancelled, just what, 9 months before this, I think. They also acknowledged that doing an open world game is something we've been wanting literally forever. There are no open world Star Wars games. Did you know that? None of them. There's zero. Jedi Fallen Order is not open world. It's Metroidvania. It's a bit different. You move around differently. Also, the Old Republic, people argue that is open world, but it's not really. It's more like you go down this path or this path. Open world is full creative freedom in the sandbox, like a GTA game, like an Assassin's Creed game. That's the open world we're looking for. We've never had that in Star Wars, so they're acknowledging right from the start that we are going to get that. And at this point, when they announced this in 2021, they said they'd been working on this game for roughly a year. So this thing has been in development in the background for a little while. That's usually just at the very early development stages, though, them kind of in discussions about what the game is going to be, what they're willing to bring to it, and who's going to be involved. At this time, also, the whole Lucasfilm Games thing was kind of like a rebranding for Star Wars gaming. They came out and said that this is a culmination of years of preparing to come out and say, we're here, we got a team of people and we're going to make a lot of great games. Lucasfilm and Disney have since said they want to release a Star Wars game every 6 months. One game every 6 months for the next however many years. Probably like a 10-year plan. It looks like that could potentially happen. Jedi Survivor is coming out this year. Then we'll have Star Wars Hunters later in the year. Next year, who knows? Potentially this. Hopefully they'll stick to that, and hopefully it doesn't become oversaturated, and hopefully every single game lives up to what it wants to be, to what it can be, to being an actual good game. Something worth playing, not a rushed, botched job. Battlefront 2015. I'm looking at you, man. You're a beautiful game, beautiful graphics, beautiful sound design, only 4 maps. Disappointing. We're here now. Let's not make the same mistake again, all right? Disney, I'm warning you. Okay, so everything we know so far, Ubisoft Massive Entertainment, open world Star Wars story adventure game. That was in 2021. Now, since then, there have been several large new details revealed about this game. However, first, I think we should talk about what Ubisoft Massive has worked on previously. So Massive Entertainment are a Swedish developer. They're based in Malmö. I think that's how you say it. I'm so sorry. They've been around since 2008, and they're most known for the Division games, the Division 1 and 2. Tom Clancy's The Division. The game engine that's being used for this game is called Snowdrop. The Snowdrop engine, which is a Ubisoft engine.
We had to do some major upgrades and big improvements to our engine.
Which is actually what the Division games were built in, and also what the new Avatar game is built in.
Using the microdetail system, we can propagate thousands of assets in one frame.
This is significantly more objects than we ever had before. We can now process way more objects per frame.
Frontiers of Pandora, guys. That's the new Avatar game. There was a trailer for that released mid last year, and that can give you an idea of how this game could potentially look.
We created many interactive shaders that can be affected by the player, from real-time wind simulations and interactions to intelligent plants reacting to your presence.
Obviously, we don't know what planets, worlds, biomes this new game is going to be set in. However, looking at this engine, looking at the Avatar game will give us an idea that this is a next-gen game. It looks impressive. The graphics look great. Textures look real. And if the Star Wars game ends up looking anything like this, I think we're in for a real treat. Jedi Survivor is already looking like it's going to be impressive, but I think this will take it to another level. I wouldn't say Jedi Survivor is necessarily a graphics-focused game. Sure, the game does look stunning at times, but it's not the most amazing-looking game out there. I'd even argue that Battlefront 2, certain locations in that game look better than Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Could be proved wrong. This, however, is looking next level. Now, Ubisoft themselves keep calling this a groundbreaking Star Wars adventure. They're basically going out and saying that this is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen before in Star Wars in gaming. And I do honestly think that's their main goal with this. They're trying to create an open world Star Wars game, which is something that has been attempted in the past. Star Wars 1313, the cancelled Boba Fett game from 10 plus years ago now, was going to be an open world game, and look where development on that one went. Still sad. Still so sad. I'm still grieving that we never got... Oh, don't bring it up again. Why? Now, for quite a while, there wasn't really any news regarding this new Star Wars game. It was very dark time. 2021, they said there was going to be more, and then there never really was. However, in December 2022, just a month ago, Massive Entertainment tweeted out that they're looking for playtesters for their Star Wars project. And if you live near Malmö in Sweden, you can go and play the game. You can sign up and play the game. Now, it's playable. Apparently, it's at some playable stage, which is a lot further along than I think a lot of us expected it to be. A lot of us thought this was probably going to be like a 2025 release, which it might still be. Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment are still releasing that Avatar game before this, and that one is definitely coming out this year. This one I don't think will be until next year at the earliest. But there's a lot more to it than that. Because on January 2 this year, the creative director of Ubisoft, Julian Gerety, tweeted out, "Happy New Year to you all. 2023 is going to be huge for us. Join the adventure, #massive Star Wars." And then also posted an image of the Star Wars logo with massive Ubisoft logos as well. Now, he didn't realize this tweet was going to get so much attention and traction. I mean, when you're the creative director of a Star Wars title, it's probably going to get some traction, man. So the following day, he also tweeted out that this seems to have sparked quite some interest. To be clear, I meant that 2023 will be huge for our teams building our game, which you could be a part of. And for official news, keep an eye on @Ubisoft. When he says you could be a part of, I think he's referring to being part of the playtesting. And it is common for games at this stage of development to be playtested very early on. But at the same time, I think this thing is further along than any of us anticipated. There are also a bunch more job listings at Massive Entertainment to work on this Star Wars title. Just to name a few, they're currently looking for an animator, a game designer, a gameplay animator, a lead concept artist, and a video cinematic artist, all to work on the Star Wars project. So it sounds like they're really starting to ramp things up. Also, I just recently found out that Christian Johansson, who some of you might remember worked on Battlefront 2, he was one of the main developers involved in this. He is actually now working at Massive Entertainment, has been there for a year, likely working on the Star Wars title. So they've got actual people who've worked on Star Wars before working on more Star Wars. It's great. That's exactly what we want. Okay, but the other day is when the real big news came out about this game. Leaked news, from what I know, from the source insidergaming.com, who have previously been quite reliable when it comes to gaming leaks. They created a news article making more claims to what this Star Wars game will actually be. This is what they said. From what we know already, the Ubisoft Star Wars game will boast a fully open, seamless universe, akin to that found in No Man's Sky. So first of all, they're comparing the game, the Massive Entertainment Star Wars open world game, to No Man's Sky. They're saying that the open world in this game is going to be like that of No Man's Skies, where you're able to seamlessly fly between different planets, galaxies, star systems, that kind of scale. I think that is a bit ambitious, to say the least. No Man's Sky was the kind of game that took years and years to deliver on, and when it released, it massively failed because, to be honest, we were lied to. They said the game was going to be online multiplayer where you'd be able to meet up with other players in the open world and see other actual play. Like, it's all just one living world, and that wasn't the case. However, since then, in the, that came out in 2016, in the 6 years or so since that game came out, so much has been improved on. The game has had numerous updates and is now at a point that is probably closer to what they thought it was going to be at release. But it took that long. That's what I'm trying to say. So there's no way this game that's been in development for 2 years now is going to be on the scale of No Man's Sky. I just don't see that happening. Perhaps, yes, we will be able to move between different open world planets, which would be amazing. You can just jump in your ship and basically fly into space and there's another planet or load as you're flying. Kind of similar to Jedi Fallen Order in that respect, but at the same time, don't get your hopes up that it's going to be that simple and that grand. They also said in the game, players will be able to jump between systems, immersing themselves in a vast galaxy, bursting at the seams with activities. This is something every single open world game needs. Side missions, side quests, and things to do in the open world, things to interact with, engage with. There's nothing worse than an open world game that has an expansive open world and yet so little to do in it. The game can look as pretty as possible, but if there's nothing to do in the world, what's the point of being in it? That was definitely the case with maybe some of the Mafia games. Even you could say the new Lego Star Wars was a bit like that once you kind of completed all the side missions, side quests, there's not a huge amount to do in the open world apart from just, you know, sightsee. So if this source is true, if what they're saying here comes true, then it looks like there's going to be a lot to do in the open world, a lot to engage with, hopefully GTA, Assassin's Creed style. Now, they also said, at the heart of the game sits an in-depth, lengthy story driven by a fully customizable character that walks a path chosen by the gamer themselves. Once again, super ambitious. Does that mean you're going to be fully in control of the direction in which your character goes? How does that work? Potentially, this means the game is going to be similar to The Division in that it's basically an online co-op, multiplayer, open world where you engage with other characters, other players, customize kind of a vanilla plain character, make them who you want, and then engage with the story. But the fact that it's going to be a story, does that mean it's also going to be a canon Star Wars story? Will it fall into the greater Star Wars canon? It's a Disney game. Obviously, they're going to want it to. The Jedi games do. So potentially it will be more interchangeable, especially if you're able to choose your own story. But at the same time, not really sure how that part's going to work. Let me know what you think about that. Okay, this part's a bit vague, but they said there are decades worth of lore, locations, weapons, and characters for Ubisoft and massive entertainment to draw from, talking about in Star Wars. So the game itself should be something special. It may even rival Starfield, which is due to launch in 2023. Starfield is going to be open world, full of quests, full of things to do in the open world. Them saying they're rivaling a game that hasn't even released yet, I think that's a pretty broad, bold claim. I don't think we can really say too much about that. We don't really know enough about Starfield yet to say, yeah, massive entertainment Star Wars game is going to be rivaling that. They could be two completely separate games. Another thing Ubisoft also said a while back is that they want to make a unique game in the saga with a captivating story and a set of characters that players can relate to and connect with. So they want us to connect with the characters in the story, but you can choose and customize and create your own character. I guess you're engaging with other characters and you're going on a journey and making decisions, but how much decision making is actually going to be involved? Is this like KOTOR level decision making, that kind of thing? Is this choose your own adventure? Is this like a Telltale game? We want to take what is familiar and resonant about Star Wars and tell the stories of new characters who have their own motivations and stakes. I do like that they're creating new characters for this. I like that in Star Wars, it's kind of getting a bit old now, using the same characters over and over again. We kind of saw that, I think, with the Obi-Wan series, with the Book of Boba Fett. Everyone's getting a bit tired of just going back and, you know, revisiting these old prequel characters, old original trilogy characters. It's time to create new stories, new characters. Looks like this game is going to do it. Doesn't mean there won't be some cameos. Everyone loves a good cameo. Tamora Morrison, my man, get in there.
I've got some boys with me, 3 other guys. I'm the first player.
But looks like we're getting new characters. Okay, guys, I'm sorry I have to do this to you. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, monetization. It has been confirmed this Ubisoft open world Star Wars game will include monetization recently, which I don't think is a huge surprise, if I'm being honest. A lot of Ubisoft games have monetization, but at the same time, it's not always a great thing. The monetization in the game is likely going to be purely cosmetic, meaning that you'll be able to buy upgrades, especially if your character is fully customizable. I'm assuming they'll allow you to buy lots of upgrades, weapon changes, things like that. We know this because Ubisoft recently posted a job listing where they were hiring a monetization specialist, someone who is literally focused on monetizing a game. That's a job. That's not just a guy who works. It's literally a job. Now, according to the job posting, this role contributes to the financial success of our games, shaping strategies that boost profitability while respecting our players and the essence of each game. Let's hope that is true and this doesn't become a disaster, aka Battlefront 2 launch. No, I don't want to pay for Darth Vader. Thank you. He should be free. Let's keep it at that. There's also no current word on whether this game is going to be free to play or you'll have to buy it. I'm assuming it's going to have the regular $60 to $70 US price tag, which is like 90 or 100 in Australian dollars because they make us pay more for games because that's what it's like living in Australia. Regardless of that, I think there's a lot to look forward to here. And I want to know what you think this Star Wars game is going to be. Which characters are involved? What worlds are we going to? And will you be playing it? Of course you will. It's an open world Star Wars game. Even if it sucks, everyone's still going to buy it. I'm open for it, man. Open world. Open that world up. Guys, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, TikTok, all of the below. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Andrew. And please don't cancel any more open world Star Wars games. Thank you.